All right, now we got a lot we need to discuss with MLB the Show 21, which recently dropped. Not too long ago, I've clocked plenty of hours over at twitch.tv/YoungRubber59. And I had some things that I want to talk about with this game. And let's start by saying this. The game is in a terrible spot. Absolute terrible spot. They had some great additions, like with the pinpoint pitching, this idea where you can level up players that, every single card on the game can be leveled up to 5 times. Those are great additions. It's always been favorable for people that want to do Diamond Dynasty, and this is the mode that we're generally talking about. This is the mode that most people play on this game. But competitively, it's in a terrible spot, and it's about as worse as it's ever been, considering the hitting. Last year, the hitting was terrible. Now, supposedly they got all this data and they changed all this stuff around, but it's worse than what it was last year. The meta right now, which all of this can be patched, and I hope they are listening to the right people. I think anybody that's going around saying that they're actually good at this game right now is bogus. You can't really tell. You're playing ranked seasons. None of that really matters for the most part, because the meta right now is obviously power hitting. And having power hitters. If you go on a Twitch, you can watch my previous VOD. We turned our whole entire team into just that. If you're looking at it right now, the guy that my screen is covering is he's not covering him at all. It's Ozuna. You just can't see their stats. This is a starting lineup that I would never ever use on this game. I would never use this starting lineup. I have better cards, particularly that are better contact hitters and better fielders. Guys like Roberto Clemente and what have you are perfect for my playing style, and they should be very useful on this game. They're just useless for the most part. So aside from Whit Merrifield every day, because players upgrade and downgrade depending on what their actual real life matchup are, I go get the guy with the most power. And if you go look at the VODs, you've seen that we haven't even lost with this crap lineup. I would never use players like Stanton. I would never use this. But the game is so jacked with its hitting that power hitters are hitting home runs, hitting balls that are into the ground, that are going into the outfield, bro. And they're barely hitting the ball. You've seen, if you watch my VODs where I get perfect swings with contact hitters, and them junts is still going right to the outfielder, right to, guys cutting it off. I'm getting either thrown out or something like that, or getting allowed out with contact hitters. But if I get just early, or not even early, I'm getting early swings, late swings. I'm getting extra base hits off of those with these power hitters, because the game is in an absolutely terrible spot right now, where if you can just be late or early with these guys that have a lot of power, it's a chance that it's going to be an extra base hit. I have Ozuna, who again, another card, because his fielding is not where it needs to be. I generally wouldn't use this card, but for me, he has been unbelievable. He's been unbelievable. 10 games, 8 home runs. 10 games, 8 home runs. This guy's he's been crazy good for me. It doesn't even make sense. Because if I get mild contact with this guy, because he has all of this power, it's going out almost every time. Now, here's the thing. There's going to be that sector of people who are tryhards. They love the game, does not reward you for skills and for using the right kind of players. They're going to say, well, that kind of happens in real life. You get contact hitters, not contact hitters, you get guys that get base hits off of late swings, they get look. It's not what that is about. This is a game that is supposed to be a skill-based competitive game. Okay? So, all of that stuff y'all talking about with this stuff happens sometimes or all the time, and rather in real life, is an irrelevant point because you're playing a competitive game. And the point is, if you're playing with zone hitting and you're playing with pinpoint, those are the two most accurate hitting styles. The goal is to move, obviously, to reticle, to cover the ball wherever the pitcher, your opposing pitcher, is throwing it and swinging at it and getting great contact on it. So when you get perfect swings and all of that sort of stuff, those should be rewarded for it. You should be rewarded for it. You should not, or less so, you should be rewarded for, I don't know, having late swings, barely hitting the ball, and the jump going 450 feet. That should not be happening. I don't care if it happens in real life. I get it. You have to have that balance of some sort of simulation. But in the same respects, it's a competitive game after all. So why would you have a ranked mode, your most competitive mode, where you have these ranked seasons, for example, and it doesn't even matter. You go into the higher divisions, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? And I still think it's too easy. You know what I mean? In terms of the reticle is just fucking massive on those lower divisions. Nonetheless, this game is in a bad spot because just what I just said, it punishes you for playing well, definitely if you do it with contact hitters, and it rewards the people who are getting these late swings and they're just getting extra base hits off of them and early swings because they clearly couldn't see the ball, and they're getting contact because the game doesn't make any sense. You see, hopefully they patch it. I don't know if they're gonna do it, but right now it's as worse as about as it's ever been. It has ever been right now with the hitting mechanics in this game. Now some people, and this is the point I wanted to make, some people have alluded to this idea, like in my chat, which you should be following us, twitch.tv/YoungFrom5. Some people have alluded to the idea this first year you got this cross-platform. It's on Xbox now. It's trying to be accessible, so it doesn't want to be as punishing as it arguably should be, and that's the thing. It's not as punishing as what it should be for hitting. I think that's more of the frustration, I guess, is that it's not punishing enough, and that if you miss, definitely with these power hitters with bad contact, pop flies, period. Like it just shouldn't be. You shouldn't be getting freaking destroying the ball with these bad contacts. You're not covering the ball at all. So it's not punishing enough, I guess, is the term that we're looking for. And some people argue it's the accessibility, yet again, ruining any sort of competitive game where it's trying to have this wide range of people that are playing it, and it wants everybody to be able to get in. So it's not gonna be as punishing as probably it should be. Right now, however, this game is it's been the absolute worst spot that I've seen that it is. I wanted to compile some clips and stuff. I could have did that. I'm not even gonna waste my time with it because you know it, I know it, we all know it. You've heard other people talking about the power meta if you are following this game at any point. Plus I already got all the receipts on the VOD. I'm destroying people on this game. I'm absolutely destroying people on this game, and I'm pissed off. Like we had a guy we beat 10-1, right? I destroyed this guy because I am getting contact on like barely, like as in half the ball is like not even in the reticle, and I'm getting home runs with Marcell Ozuna. It pisses me off because it shouldn't be like that. That's not competitive. That's bullshit. Let's call it what it is. So right now, this game is in it's in a terror from a competitive standpoint. I'm not talking to you guys playing it offline. You're probably having some fun. In a competitive standpoint, as a guy that mostly plays this game competitively, I'll mostly play it online against other people in a ranked setting. This game is as worse from the hitting standpoint. It's not punishing enough. It's about as bad as it's always been, worse than it's ever been for sure. And unfortunately, when you have these elements and these other dynamics that should make for the best game, MLB the Show game that we've ever got, right now it's not the case. Again, I'm talking about like with the pinpoint deal. That's another thing to try to widen the gap, the pinpoint pitching, as well as this idea where people can use different cards, so you're not forced to pigeonhole and use every card. However, that has been reversed because now you're forced to use power hitters. So I'm freaking undefeated with this team. I'm undefeated with this team. I got cards that are better, right, that are on the bench. I got cards that are better. I got Roberto Clemente, which should be one of the best cards in the game because he can literally do everything. He can hit and he can play defense, but his power's not good enough. So he's not good enough, right? So I'm forced to play with these cards that I never would play with because I know if I get the reticle anywhere near the ball, and yeah, I can see it really well, but I get the reticle anywhere near this ball, it's probably going to be an extra base hit because the game is in such a terrible spot right now. So I just went and got guys, my most strongest guys, aside from my infielders. Right now, everybody has good power. And the only reason I don't have these guys is because I don't have anybody, right? I believe Xander. Yeah, Xander has just the same freaking power as Cal. That's the only reason why he's not in. I just don't have anybody to replace these guys. And if I did, that had some decent fielding, I'll put them in. And I have a team full of power hitters, and I'd be destroying everybody. Unless they two are playing with the power meta, and we're just going to have games that are 15-14. Because this game is in an absolutely terrible spot, and I'm going to keep saying it. Hopefully, they fix it.